If you've never seen firsthand what backyard wrestling is all about, basically it's all about a bunch of teenage kids getting together and beating each other with any blunt, sharp, random objects, anything they can find really. So IDOS decided they wanted to make a game based on backyard wrestling, sort of give you something new, something different for the wrestling market, for people, you know, who are a little tired of the WWE games. And we have backyard wrestling, don't try this at home, for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Unfortunately, doesn't translate so well to video games. Backyard wrestling features a number of different wrestlers, but not from any major promotions. Rather, there are a bunch of independent wrestlers, most of which are from the Insane Clown Posse's JCW Federation. The Insane Clown Posse themselves, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, appear in the game, as well as former ECW champion Sabu, Madman Pondo, and a few other guys that maybe you've heard of, but probably not. But really, the wrestling isn't what the game is about. What it's about is picking up stuff on the ground, hitting people over the head with it, breaking stuff that's in the level, jumping off stuff onto people just cause. It's about insanity. The levels in the game are all sort of based on random locations. All of them are full of destructible elements, like just walls that fall apart, random objects that will just break when you throw people into them. There's all sorts of like crazy fluorescent light bulbs, barbed wire baseball bats, all sorts of insane stuff that you can just kind of smash people with. The problem is, because it has such a heavy reliance on just hitting people with stuff, it gets old. It's kind of a novelty thing. You know, once you've hit someone once with a fluorescent light bulb, you hit him every other time too, and you know, once you've done it a couple of times, there's no difference. The game uses kind of like a standard life meter. It doesn't have any like momentum shifts or anything, so basically the whole match consists of you just kind of running around this level, breaking stuff, hitting people for a couple of minutes at a time, then the match is over and you're done. The game does have a season mode of sorts called the talk show mode. You start out with this cutscene of a fake talk show called Today's Topic, and the topic of the show is backyard wrestling and its a detrimental effect on society and whatever. It's a big Jerry Springer ripoff, and it's supposed to be really funny, but for the most part, it just all kind of falls flat. After you see the cutscene, you get cut to a location where you have to do like a survival style thing where you have to fight 3 or 4 guys in a progression, and then once you beat them, you unlock them into the game and you can progress to the next level. The whole thing is a couple of hours long tops, and by the time you're done with it, there's really no reason to ever want to go back and play it again. There's also some multiplayer games in the game, as well as like a really basic creator wrestler. The multiplayer games aren't really that interesting. There's like a King of the Hill game where you gotta take over a space in the level and keep the other guy from taking it over. Just a bunch of stuff like that. It's nice that they put it in, but it doesn't really add much to the game. The creator wrestler is pretty much a joke. It's just 15 standard, already pre-rendered models that you can just kind of change the costumes for with already preset costumes, and then you can just kind of edit the moves, but you know, whatever, there's not really much to it. It really pales in comparison to every other creator wrestler function in any other wrestling game on the market. Graphically, the game just does not look that good at all. None of the character models are terribly detailed, and their animations are pretty stuttery. The moves in the game actually look pretty okay. They're sort of the exaggerated ilk, sort of like Def Jam Vendetta's, but they don't look nearly as good as Def Jam Vendetta's moves. And really, all in all, I mean, none of the game really looks that great. The Xbox version of the game is definitely better looking, significantly better looking than the PlayStation 2 version. But the PS2 version has like a bunch of weird little glitches here and there. It just looks like basically they started with the Xbox version and then just made like a real quick and dirty port to the PlayStation 2 without a whole lot of effort. The best feature about the game is its soundtrack, which features like over 40 songs from just a multitude of different artists, like the Insane Clown Posse themselves, Rancid, Bowling for Soup, Chimera. It's a pretty varied soundtrack, and it's actually not bad. And the Xbox version does support custom soundtracks if you get tired of those songs. The rest of the game's audio is pretty mediocre, though. You could look at a game like Backyard Wrestling and say, you know, oh, hey, this is something new, this is something fresh, this is something different. But aside from the fact that it's different, there's really nothing good about it. It's not fun to play. The gimmick gets old really quick. It doesn't look very good. It sounds okay, but that's only because of the soundtrack. And ultimately, it's just not a very good wrestling game.